Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce this evening. That wasn't a fart, that was me sliding around on the chair.
That's a lie.
Can you hear that?
Ooh, you have curry.
If I did, I'm now sitting in it.
Chicken vindaloo.
Yeah. It is with great pleasure that I introduce tonight's guest. He's an extremely talented guitarist and a man of many musical instruments that we are going to experience a bit later on in the evening. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Mr. DJ Sullivan. Hello, sir.
Oh, Sullivan.
Oh, Sullivan. Did I say? Oh, did I not say the O?
Sullivan, you give me the American version.
Oh, you know what? For that, I'm gonna glass myself.
Drink.
Get that Ribena down me. Right. So, sir, for those who do not know who you are, who aren't acquainted with your works up till late,
Who I'm assuming is everybody.
it is for most of us to know.
Yes.
Please enlighten us to who you are and what you do.
Je m'appelle... Oh, no, it's not French oral, is it? Oh,
Any
yeah.
French out there? I'm presuming no.
I was actually born in Paris,
Were you?
strangely enough. Yeah.
Oh, I think the story will start there when we get round to it then.
I was born in Paris. It was a summer's night. Very beautiful.
There was wine, there was women,
There was wine, women,
and
fromage,
song.
lots of cheese.
Champagne
That was
overflowing.
The very first food I ever ate was cheese. First solid food.
What a better way to start your life.
The only way to start your life.
Yes.
Cheese in Paris. That was the only reason I decided to be born in Paris, was so that I could have good cheese.
Yeah. Just sitting there gumming on a block of Edam. Right.
Yeah.
So who are you
Born in
then?
Paris. I am DJ O'Sullivan.
O'Sullivan.
O'Sullivan, born in Paris. My dad got me into music. He played guitar. And I would say probably from the age of 9, and this is going to make me seem quite uncool, I used to play in the church choir.
Trust me, from everyone who I have interviewed so far will have learned a really obscure instrument when they were younger. So they'll say, oh, I learnt recorder or clarinet, or I sang in a choir. Everyone seems to start that way for some reason.
Yeah.
So you're not alone.
Well, I got to play guitar. My dad was playing guitar in the choir, so I used to sit, and there was like one chord book between like 5 guitar players, which was always over here, out of
Excellent.
shot.
Of course.
So I would be sitting, and I'd be watching my dad and trying to copy his hands instead of actually being able to see the chords. So eventually I just kind of learned, like, you know, when you can feel what the next change is going to be.
Yeah.
So
I've done gigs like
to the
that.
Catholic Church. I spent life like that.
Yeah. So what sort of age was that?
Probably from 8 to 12, maybe 8, 12, 13.
So were you still in the sort of the chord? Were you still in the chord phase then, or?
Yeah, that was all, you know. Where some of the best tunes were written, but
Yeah.
and there was some fancy chords. I learned some of the, you know, those really worshipy, like American.
Oh yeah.
Jesus, you're great. All that kind of stuff.
The sound of salvation.
It's exactly it. Scary one.
The sound of damnation.
When you've done wrong. When
Yeah.
you've done wrong by God.
That's when you got caught wanking.
And after that, you have to go in for confession. After that, then I think it was a friend of mine. It was actually, we used to go to guitar lessons together. A friend of mine introduced me to like Tin Lizzy, AC/DC.
Mm.
You know, and when you learn it, then it's and you think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And you're going, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
a rock star now.
Everyone else is just looking at you. Shut the fuck up, will you?
Yeah, you're like, yeah. I think it was that kind of you know, the really old school kind of rock and roll. Or well, not fully old school, but like the 70s kind of, you know, you used to learn how to play the bass riff to Dancing in the Moonlight with one finger up. You could only use the one finger, you see.
Of course.
And it kind of grew from there, where probably at 15, the man that wrote this horrible... I'm not going to play anymore. Everybody knows what it is.
We have a game in our band. We just play 2 notes, and everyone just goes, "Yay!" You know, oh god, that means we've got to play it now.
Yeah. Oh, if I'd never have to play that song again in my life, I'd be happy.
It was every weekend occurrence, pretty much.
Every weekend. And everyone loves it all the time.
Yeah.
It's like when you break out the talk box and go... Everyone just goes...
Oh, people do like repetition, don't they?
Yeah. But Slash definitely from like 15, 16, he was God.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And I got really into old school Guns N' Roses with it.
Nice.
Probably play all the riffs wrong now. I haven't played them in years, but...
The thing is, Guns N' Roses, their riffs are sort of misleadingly actually quite hard, aren't they? There's a lot to them. You sort of...
Split.
Yeah, it's really difficult to
two
pick
guitars.
out. Yeah. I've always found when sort of listening to it and sort of trying to work out what's what is trying to work out who's doing what, who's complimenting what, who's taking what line. It's not an easy feat when it comes to Guns N' Roses.
And the other guy, Izzy Stradlin, ended up doing a lot of the real riffy bits. He was the writer for a lot of those, and Slash got all the fame. 15-year-olds like me just going, "Oh my God, Slash!"
Yeah. It's amazing how heroin can make you a rock star.
Right, isn't it?
Oh no, Izzy was a heroin addict as well, wasn't he?
I think most of them were, weren't they?
Yeah, Izzy, Slash, and Steve Adler. Yeah, they were all... Duff was mainly alcohol, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, and Steve loved the coke.
Bless.
Good times.
Good times. Drugs are bad, people. Don't do drugs.
Yes, don't do drugs. As he takes another sip of his apple juice.
Of course. It's all right. I've got my drugs of choice of Ribena and digestive biscuits. So that's true rock and roll stardom right
Chocolate
there.
digestives.
Dark chocolate.
Ooh, they don't beat the hobnobs though. Chocolate hobnobs, I think, are the...
I think I would have to disagree with you there. There's just I find... What could you easily eat a pack more? This is a way it's going to go, isn't it? Yeah, we had a really in-depth conversation about biscuits. So, what is more Moorish though, and what could you easily eat a packet of? Chocolate digestives, dark chocolate digestives, or chocolate hobnobs? For me, I could easily murder a packet of dark chocolate digestives. No problem.
Yeah. To be honest, both.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Just 2 packets.
Dip them in water so they're soft.
Yeah. Put them into a mush. Right, Guns N' Roses. I can see how this night's going to go.
So that was the beginning of the end. Yeah, definitely Slash was like fucking the only man for years, and you could mention any other guitar player to me and they'd be like, but he's not Slash.
Right.
For a long time. And then it was only probably 16 or 17. I started roadieing with a band actually when I was 15. Big Generator, they were called. Great Irish cover band. They were actually one of the first cover bands in Ireland.
Okay.
Which sounds really archaic, but you have to remember Ireland was as bad as it's projected online, as no electricity and all that shit.
Really?
Back in the 80s there were there were no cover bands.
That's such
there was 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And nobody was doing good. It was all hoolie music, and my mammy went down to the courtyard and all that kind of stuff.
And it Irish sort of like folk songs that have at least 20 verses and
Yeah.
yeah.
Verses. And she left me, and I don't know why. That kind of stuff. So they slammed in the 80s as like the rock band of Ireland, because none of the artists were coming to Ireland either. Like, you wouldn't get Whitesnake in Ireland.
Really?
They would just, from what I hear anyway. These are the stories of olden days that I was told.
Oh yeah, you're just a wee young whippersnapper, aren't you?
Whippersnapper, as they say, yeah.
You're an old fart like us.
I'm not going to the grave just yet. A few more weeks.
I may look like it, but hopefully not. I do have a general corpse chic about me. That's the kind of look I go for. Corpse stroke heroin.
Heroin corpse. That's what you're going for as Halloween.
Yep, stroke Voldemort.
Mix them all together. So I learned a lot of professionalism from them.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, they were really top tier band.
So what sort of age were you when you joined with these guys?
15 was when I started every now and again roadieing with them, because it's going to get complicated now. My auntie's best friend is married to like the owner of the band.
Okay.
So I got to know him through my auntie.
Gotcha. I'm there.
Brought me on a couple of nights, and it kind of just went from there. They needed a hand. I liked listening to music at the weekend, and so I was, they were a rock cover band, so it was all, Sweet Child of Mine, Bon Jovi. You get the odd Pearl Jam song. Used to do Du Hast actually by Rammstein, which was very cool.
Really?
In certain venues. Yeah, very, very seldom.
Blimey.
That was like it was like 2 places in the country. You just hear that.
Oh, what a riff.
Oh.
So how did this stuff, because as you're saying, there wasn't sort of many bands around doing it, so how popular was it when you guys actually went out and played?
It was big. Well, no, I only joined them
sorry,
a couple
when
of
you
years
were when you were roadieing, how sort of well were they doing as a band?
Pretty good. Like, it was, even in Ireland now, say for the last 10 years, the scene has been changing in Ireland.
Right.
Not like, even when I used to roadie for them, people would go to see the band. But now everyone just goes out to get pissed, and there's music.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we know that feeling.
So, but when I was like, I remember doing gigs in London. Used to go over to London every now and again, which was great fun. I cannot remember the name of the venue, but it was an Irish bar, and like the queue was fucking the whole way down the road, like 2 or 3 hours before they're going on.
Not something like Waxy O'Connor's, something like that.
It wasn't that bad. It was. No, I can't remember.
I like it. I like it there.
Clare Ring.
Oh, okay.
Endon.
Yeah, I like it in Waxy O'Connor's. They got a tree and everything.
Is that actually a place?
yeah, it's actually a place.
I love it. I love seeing. Do you know when you see Irish pubs abroad?
Yeah.
The thing is, like, you always say that you're not going to go in, but you always end up going in, and you end up knowing somebody that the owner knows every time without fail.
Does he just make it up, and just the chances are that you might happen to know someone by that name, or is it actually such a...
No, it's always like, from the village, and, oh Jesus, he'd be married to such and such. And it's real.
Amazing. The power of the Irish stretches wide and far.
Someone in Spar in Budapest. I went to school with her, and I went up to the counter, and she was standing there. I was like, hello. Brilliant.
Oh dear.
We're everywhere.
Yeah, it's a good thing. I like Irish people, have to admit. The best thing an Irish person ever said to me, and this is the funniest thing that I've probably ever had. We were in, we went up to Northern Ireland, and we went off to a little island off the coast of Northern Ireland. And to stay on this island, you had to get a little boat out for the house there. And I'm sitting in the bar waiting for the guy who owns the boat to come in and take us. And this old boy just turned and looked at me, sort of, you know, that kind of squinty sort of drunken haze, and went, "Can I ask you a question?" And I went, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do you like looking like that?" That was it. I was sold.
Love it, yeah.
Brilliant.
Leave your feelings at the door.
Exactly. Right, so where were we? We were at
16 years old.
16 years old, learning a lot from the band.
Yeah. From there, then it was kind of, it just, you know, all the same bands that come together. Like, you know, you're into Zeppelin, and then you get more into AC/DC, and then you discover Whitesnake, and then you find out Steve Vai was in Whitesnake, and then you listen to some Steve Vai.
Yeah.
And then everything just kind of, I started listening to more and more music, but it was always bluesy rock is kind of the real favourite.
So is that when you got into your Gary Moore, or was that through the Thin Lizzy kind of link?
It's kind of all the same. It's one big giant web.
Everyone's been everywhere.
Yeah.
They're all a bunch of musical hoes.
Yeah, you know, you just look like, I would Google, you know, who did Jimi Hendrix influence? And then you'd find someone else, and then you'd listen to them and go, oh, cool, who did they influence? And then you just kind of keep going from there.
So when did you join the band full-time?
Joined the band full-time, I can't remember whether it was 17 or 18. I think it was 18. Joined them full-time as like guitar player and backing vocalist, because I could sing quite high. I can't now because I haven't sang in months, but
you do have a good voice though. I have heard you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Paul Rodgers, the main man.
What did you think of Paul Rodgers when he sang with Queen?
I thought he was very good. He was Paul Rodgers. He wasn't trying to be Freddie Mercury at all. So it was more like Queen featuring Paul Rodgers as opposed to
I really like
Adam Lambert that sang with them as well.
Yeah, have you seen the Adam Lambert documentary?
No.
Like it's weird. I really enjoyed Paul Rodgers when he sang with Queen, especially the version of Hammer to Fall they did. That was just like absolutely bang on. It was so nicely done, especially when they do the really mellow start for that, and he comes out and Paul Rodgers just sounding at his best. It was great.
He's just perfect, like.
Yeah.
He's one of the very few that still sounds perfect.
Yeah, and you can see that, to be honest, he probably sounds a bit better than he did back in the day, because I know there's sort of early recordings where you can hear he's struggling and he's really pushing himself, but then you watch him with that Queen thing and he's perfectly poised. You can see he's in he's in really good shape. So look at us with our Paul Rodgers crushes here.
Oh,
Paul.
Paul, if you're watching, come to Ireland.
Call me. But I watched the Adam Lambert documentary, and like the guy's range and technique is phenomenal. It's unreal. But to me, it just sounds like a very talented person who sings in a musical.
Yeah, it's Broadway. That's what I was going to say. It's very Broadway-ish.
And it just, whatever he's singing, it sounds Broadway. So I don't think there's that. If you could get someone who could do again, it's Freddie Mercury, isn't it? If you could get the Paul Rodgers roughness and guts, and then the Adam Lambert range and theatrics, you would have the perfect blend. Yeah. So if Lambert and Rodgers made a baby,
let's do it.
Yeah,
get a test tube. I buy the test tube. Just mix it up.
If Rodgers Lambert, then we might get the next sort of musical genius. We can only hope.
Exactly.
Sorry, I keep going off topic here. So
that's all on topic.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
17, 18, joined the band, and we were just playing all the, we were doing 3 to 5 nights a week, depending on if, during the summer or around Christmas. Or
Mm.
I think we did 17 straight up near Christmas one year, which was
Jesus.
that was fun.
So was it a full-time job at that age? Or...
Yeah, that was full time.
Oh, that's kind of
Which I
living the
was very,
dream, really,
very
isn't it?
lucky. Yeah, I landed on my feet like
Oh, excellent.
straight out of school into a band. No messing.
So, at what point was it being in the band that, were you already by that point a good guitarist, or was it being in that band really pushed you forward and had to make you up your game?
Yeah, it was kind of, I think because my whole life was centered around music, I was even practicing at home and having fun and finding new music. And because the guys in the band were older than me, so they'd suggest an album and I'd go and listen to it. Like I'd never heard. Oh, not enough gain.
Oh, no. Oh, what a tune.
John Sykes, fucking beast.
Are you a big Whitesnake fan?
Yeah, I like that album and Slip of the Tongue.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of the early days, like the Bernie Marsden and...
Oh, what do you think? One of the tunes I really love off the early stuff is the original Here I Go Again. It's got...
I know, it's a completely different song, isn't it?
It's the solo in it, just that really gentle kind of... It's really delicate.
Gentleman.
Yeah, exactly. It's very noble. It's the kind of solo
yeah.
you could play at dinner parties and gatherings.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, no, I just love the cheese and just Sykes's anytime he does that and bends that fucking massive vibrato on.
Yeah, you don't just bend it, you assault it.
Yeah, you have to fucking...
So...
And he was in Tin Lizzy, of course, as well, so there was that.
Ah. Yeah, Lizzie had a lot of different people in and out, didn't they?
Yeah, Gary Moore.
Yeah. So who would you say...
Mid-Ure.
Who's sorry?
Mid-Ure was even in for
Really?
a small... Yeah.
I
think one of them, I can't remember whether Brian Robertson or Scott Gorham broke their hand just before they were starting their American tour.
Mm.
Mid-Ure learned the songs on the flight with like a tape player or
I didn't realise...
whatever he had on.
This is how naive I am. I didn't realise Mid-Ure was a good guitarist then.
Yeah, neither did I until I learned that.
That's really bizarre. I'm going to have to... Because obviously I've heard Ultravox and stuff like that, but
yeah,
I've never really seen what he can do. I'm going to have to... That's going to be a Google for me, I think. I want to know these things.
No.
So,
Mid-Ure.
how long were you in the band? Because obviously you went on to do the Rock Icons
Yeah.
thing.
I was in band 2 and a bit years, maybe.
Okay.
And it was tough going, playing the same venues and, over and over again. It was a job.
Yeah.
That was great fun. The lads were great crack. Like we had some laugh on the road, but just decided time to change.
Were there many venues? Because obviously in the UK, sort of back in the 80s and the 90s, we had a lot more venues, and there was for a touring band. There was a massive amount of places to play. So what was it like in Ireland? Was it a lot? I know you said earlier there wasn't.
Well, now it's just venues everywhere. Pubs and venues,
Yeah.
Back in the day, I don't know were they there, but I know the guys used to just play the same kind of places. It was actually up Northern Ireland was very good for crowds.
Okay.
Because they're all mad bastards up that way. The Nordies are a different breed.
Oh, are you a southerner?
Well, my mom's from Northern Ireland.
Ah.
Half and half.
Ah. See, you are the unifying force.
I am the unifying force, and I even brought France into it just for fun.
There you go.
That's it.
You're our next natural leader.
I'm going replacing Donald Trump next year.
Oh, please do.
Oh, DJ
Someone needs
O'Sullivan,
to.
please.
Yeah. Anyone's got to. You're probably being with a good
Yeah.
good enough shot. I think anyone would be glad to
As
see
good a
that.
chance as anyone, like.
Yeah, he managed to get in.
We could
So
run a dual campaign.
yeah, all you got to do is just be a raving misogynist, and then you'll be easily in with a good chance.
And convince yourself you know every fact in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
CNN broadcast fake news. Sorry, go.
no, sorry. I'm just as bad for deviating off topic. I'm terrible.
Yeah.
So when did you join the Rock Icons things straight after?
It was a friend and myself started it actually. So that was kind of at the beginning, as we were leaving Big Generator, that kind of time.
Mm.
And it was kind of before I left the band that had already been started. And then it was just, decided time to make a change.
And you guys sort of tour. Say you've been over to the UK. Whereabouts have you toured? You've been all over the world, haven't you?
No, I went over the world with Big Generator. That was because I went to Bahrain and
Yeah.
went to the Middle East, which was good fun. That's a crazy country.
Is it a bit of a culture shock when you go over to those sort of countries?
Yeah, I love kind of weird Eastern countries,
Mm.
and I love learning. Even when you learn like 3 or 4 words, DJ's travel tips. Learn 3 or 4 words in the local language, and everybody looks at you differently.
Which
They assume
4
you know
words?
crack.
Which are the most important 4 words? Would you say?
Hello is always a nice one, just to get a smile.
Yep.
Which marhaba was like hi in Bahrain. Thank you, which is, I keep mixing the two of them up, shukriya or shukran. I think it might be shukran in Arabic, because the other one is like Urdu. And they were the only 2 I learned for there. I learned some extra words in India, like how are you, what's your name, pleased to meet you.
How much is that sitar?
Kitna rupiye, and then they give you the price. And then once they think you know a few words, they don't think that you're a stupid Irish or Englishman.
They think you might have haggling power.
That's it. They think you know. It's like, oh, he knows what he's doing.
Excellent. Right.
It works everywhere.
So
So that was actually the biggest gig I probably ever played was in Bahrain. It was like the Irish Society were having some sort of a 25th anniversary or one of those kind of bollocksy things, and there was like 3,000 or 4,000 people in this. It was in the English rugby club actually, because they don't have anything else there.
right.
And it was just thousands of drunk Irish people from all around the Gulf. They'd flown from Dubai and all that, just absolutely pissed.
Jeez, must have felt like home.
It was. I was dying that day that we went out the night before. Not a good idea. Not a good idea.
I can imagine. So what sort of places do you play with the Rock Icons? Do you...
It's just theatres. Because there's so much gear that goes in. Not heroin now, like
Yeah,
musical instruments.
not heroin or strippers.
We're bringing tons of heroin.
Yeah. Mountains of
We
the
have
stuff.
It's nearly like, do you know, like the 20-foot trucks?
Oh, yeah.
Not the full Arctic. It's pretty much a 20-foot truck loaded with backdrops. We've got like fake Marshalls and the whole lot.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Have you actually got recordings and footage from those?
Yeah, there's loads of videos on YouTube. If you look up Rock Icons Show, it should
Do it.
show up somewhere.
Don't do it now,
Do it
because then
now.
you'll miss. Yeah, do it. You can do it now. We'll still be here. It's fine. You can go.
No,
and do
we'll
it.
sit and have a cup of tea and go. Do, 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 do. Have you got hold music? No, where we can just sit. And...
So, from there, with the size of these shows, I mean, do you find, because obviously you've done the pub shows, you've done the theatre shows and everything.
Mhm.
With theatre shows, are they all sort of seated shows?
Yeah, that's the only weird thing.
I was just about to ask, because like one of the great things about gigging, obviously, and playing in a proper venue is the interaction you can have. Oh, Did it before, saw a very good version. Ah, Mr. Snap Davis has already Googled you. Is it coming up on your thing?
No, there's one person.
Yep, we have someone.
I've got you full screen. You're so beautiful, I've got you on full screen. I can find it. Ah, yes, I have it. Thank you very much, Sir Snap Davis.
So, do you find, that do you still get the same connection with the audience, or is it a completely different
weird.
entity?
No, it is. It's different, but you can kind of make it yourself, if that makes sense.
Mm.
You know, because everyone that's there, as opposed to in a pub, where maybe some people are there to see you, but some are there to get pissed. So nobody's really watching you. There's people chatting a whole lot. But people at a theatre show are like, they're just sitting there like. So you have everyone's attention the whole time. That's it. Yeah, it's like, and you can always spot the musicians.
Well, I suppose there must be some. Oh yeah, the ones that are just sitting there, or they'll lean into their mate and they'll go.
Yeah, every now and again.
They're just playing, like, I'm playing a chord like this. The singer's coat was a bit rough though. He's just put.
I know the one. I think it's cool.
Ah, yes. But I suppose
it's like a colonial coat.
Oh, what is it? Sorry.
What about colonial kind of? You know, it was like colonial. I think I'm probably completely wrong now, but I think that's what it was.
I bet that gets nice and sweaty.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that's going to smell ripe at the end of the night. So, well, I suppose it's similar to being like a comedian and doing a theatre show. You are the centre of attention, so you probably have more command with what's going on. I mean,
that's exactly it.
So, do you get the same enjoyment? Sort of, do you get the same adrenaline buzz as when doing?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's good to know.
Definitely. Because you've all the space to run around as well, so you can, slap on the wireless pack and just go for a little jog.
If you need to go to the bar, go to the toilet.
Sprint away for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, just go and sit in the car.
It's like a more pressure. Pressure's for tires now, but you definitely feel that everybody is looking at you.
So you've really got to step up to the plate, haven't you? Otherwise,
that's it. Yeah, like there's no
hiding.
No making mistakes. No, you really can't.
Sounds incredibly intimidating.
You can't go into the comfortably numb solo though. Can't do that. Can't miss the note. If you're at a pub, you can.
Oh yeah, in the pub nobody gives a flying shit.
Yeah, in the pub you could probably go, and everyone will go, hey.
It'll do. Does it sound? Have you hit like? I think in a pub, as long as you hit like a 30% note ratio of accuracy, you'll probably be all right.
Even, yeah.
So
once you can do that,
yeah,
you're fine.
Just resort to that.
Don't need to know the next one. You can play the next one like that's fine as long as you played the first one right.
I have heard that done.
Oh.
The best one I've ever heard was they were playing Sweet Child of Mine and then the guitarist did solo in the wrong key.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was as horrible as you can imagine. And he didn't twig it.
Just didn't know. He just was in his own little world.
Yeah, he played the solo correctly, just not in the right key.
Semitone out.
Yeah. Never mind, eh? Right. I think it's time, as we've got a bit of background for you, now we need to see some sexy licks, which is the...
Licks?
Yes.
No pressure.
No. So, sinister. So we like to see the kind of things that makes... You know that when you step up to do your sound check, and you've got your go-to... Everyone has their go-to licks. Their go-to whittles.
The first thing I always do is just... You know that, like, the E chord where you don't play the G?
What amp have you got, by the way?
That's a 2203.
Sounds quite beastie.
Yeah, it's a JMP, like a 1980 Marshall head. It's on quite quiet at the minute, but it fucking rips your head off.
I believe it. It sounds great, even through this.
With the backwards microphone and everything.
Yeah.
That's good. Glad to hear that.
Okay.
I usually do that and make sure that it's loud enough to annoy anybody doing the sound, and loud enough to annoy everybody else on stage.
Perfect.
Which it always is. It's the only way. With the old amps, you have to crank them to get the nastiness out of them.
The bite and just the aggression out of them.
Yeah, because I generally play quite dry and with not a lot of gain.
Oh,
but
okay.
It's got enough volume to, just to give it that.
Yeah.
At the minute, I have an SD1 on at the minute because it's not loud enough to give you that, but I like that organic, open.
Yeah, proper rock sound.
Yeah, that's where you can change the sound by how hard you hit the strings.
Yeah.
And the volume, I'm not a big fan of like 2 or 3 channel amps. They just confuse me with different things and knobs and stuff.
A simple man with simple pleasures.
Simple man, clean down here, which isn't very clean, but it's clean enough, and then that ring, not clean.
Excellent. I like it.
Other licks and stuff today. I probably just stupid stuff like that.
So you're a big bluesy fan, aren't you?
Yeah, the old school.
Nice. Sounds really good.
Thank you. And Guthrie Govan as well, probably over the last year or two. I've really got into him. Do you know the fusiony?
Yeah. Yeah, Guthrie's kind of in a league of his own, isn't he? He's
sick, like.
Yeah.
He's not human.
So have you taken anything from Guthrie sort of in your playing style, or?
I wish. Just those kind of very slow, bending up the notes, and just those smooth kind of legato. He does all that mad shit.
It is amazing when you watch people, especially who've got the kind of setup you have, where almost everything, because you've got a lot of players who have like really heavy distortions, and no matter sort of how they play, everything's one level, isn't it? There's no dynamic. But when you get that kind of setup and that kind of sound, even just a slight volume tail off or just a pick accent can just completely change the entire sound.
The way you turn your finger even to you're playing a flat pick versus really sharp. And I tend to use my middle finger a lot when I'm playing bluesy stuff.
Oh, to get that really high.
Stuff like that.
That's really, really nice. So when you do your rock icon stuff, what would you say is the solo that took you the longest to learn and probably the most challenging for you?
Oh, that's a good question. There was a few, like the likes of Highway Star.
Oh, yeah.
It's not incredibly difficult, but it's just very weird.
Yeah.
So there's two of us playing guitar in it, and we do the harmony. But he's got, like Richie Blackmore has such a fast vibrato.
Yeah.
And you have to have the single because I use a Strat for that.
You've got a really lovely tone and a really lovely feel when you play.
Thank you. It's Mr. Paul, he does it all.
Yeah, it's just a guitar. It's nothing to do with you.
Yeah, no, it's not me. Tone isn't in the fingers, kids. It's in Paul Reed Smith Guitarist.
Tone is in the amount of money you spend.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, tone is not in the amount of time you put into the instrument. It's how many thousands you put into your equipment.
Well, you would say that. I know plenty of people who are completely the opposite. I've known people who will spend. There was a guy I used to know who would buy in guitars. He would have them for a week and then have sold them in the week. So he was just this constant influx of in, out, in, out, in, out. And he actually said to someone, he said, I just can't understand why these don't make me a better player. It's like, because you don't have anything for long enough.
Yeah. You have to bond with it. It's like a duck. You have to become friends with it. But it's funny, like you see, there's certain players, like, give them any setup and they sound exactly like themselves.
Yeah.
Like you're not familiar with Johnny Fiend by any chance, are you? The Horselips.
No.
Irish.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, and Derek Doom. They're like an Irish trad rock band.
Oh, okay.
They were kind of the first fusionites.
Right.
To do it. Johnny's still playing. He's local enough here. But, like, he plays now he uses a Les Paul into one of those Line 6 Spider amps.
Oh, yeah.
Which I used to own one when I was like 12, and I thought it was the worst thing ever. Well, it was great at the time because it had insane mode.
Of course.
Then when you start to go on to the gear, you're like, oh, that amp was crap.
Yeah.
He plays through that, and he sounds exactly like Johnny Fiend. It just sounds perfect.
Some people just defy physics and logic, don't they?
Yeah. It's all in the whatever way they play it.
So, what about how did you find, because you said that you were sort of, from all your other stuff, you went into, you like Vi and people like that. So how did going from sort of the bluesy type stuff to the more, because obviously Vi is a lot more avant-garde, isn't he, out there?
Yeah.
So how did you find that transition? Was it kind of a rude awakening as well, sort of going from your blues stuff to that?
It was slow. It would have been through the bands. I would have went through the Cheese phase first, of like Dokken and White Snake and Twisted Sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the Hairspray.
Yeah.
So that softens the blow a little bit when you start to go into the really guitar-y kind of players.
Mm. So what's your favourite?
I must say Steve... Oh, go on.
So I was going to say, what's your favourite kind of Vi stuff?
To be honest, I've never gotten huge into, like, I'm not into guitar-y music, as strange as it might sound.
Oh, okay.
Like, the only two, like, I couldn't listen... He's a great player, but I couldn't listen to Joe Satriani or...
Yeah, I know what
any
you mean.
of those guys. Steve Vai and Guthrie are the only two that I could sit and listen to.
I think, again, if you've been brought up with actual songs and bands and everything, it's that a lot of guitarists' sort of solo projects always just sound like a backing track with whittle over the top. They don't actually sound like a song that was composed to be intricate and interesting.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I suppose.
But when you say it like that, it's no different to blues, really, is it? Like, my baby left me.
Yeah.
She's still gone. And then,
she ain't come back
she's
yet.
still not here.
I've been waiting for 50 years and 9 days.
Yeah, I'm still waiting here. Lord, I've been waiting for 50 years and 9 days. Everything's repeated twice. Like
So I think my baby got lost. It's gone in the wrong house.
But I think I found her now.
And the story ends. And you're like, oh, it's got a happy ending.
Yeah, I know what you mean though. Like, yeah, it just gets boring after a while.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it'd be like me listening to a drum solo.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a drummer primarily.
Moby Dick.
So I was originally a drummer, but again, I like to listen to drums in context with music.
That's it. Yeah, I'd much prefer to hear like cool a Nile Rodgers-y funky thing that fits the song, instead of look at me, look what I can play.
I thought you were about to go into Hocus Pocus by Focus there for a second.
No, that was. I only know the one funk lick. You see, that's all you need for funk.
Of course. The more minimal, the better.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd say. Yeah, no. On that same topic, I would get bored. Sex and Religion is cool in the sense that it's just fucking nuts by Steve Vai.
Is that the one with Devon Townsend on?
Devon, oh man, he is just.
He is an absolute monster.
He's not human.
No. The sounds that man can make, guitar-wise, mouth-wise, everything that comes out of that man.
Other orifice he decides to use.
I'm sure he could just do a flatulence album, and it would sound like a combination of God and Satan's anuses combined. It would be the perfect blending of the two, the two opposites.
He's nuts.
Right, because one thing we want to make sure we've got time for, because fucking time's cracking on. It's already like 45 minutes in.
Really?
Yeah. Oh no, tell me about it. Because you have much Eastern influence, I think it's safe to say.
Yes, indeed. I enjoy the East.
And you have a rather...
And I have no idea where it came from.
Really? It was just a sudden, ooh, I like the sound of that, ping,
yeah,
and the magic happened.
Probably George Harrison.
True.
Probably Revolver's up there with one of my favourite albums.
Ah, and so the seed was sown.
That was probably it.
So
then probably just to annoy everybody else. You know, where you can be that classic guy, oh, yeah, he's got long hair, oh yeah, he likes Indian music, oh yeah.
So?
I like being a bit classic.
There's nothing wrong with fitting a stereotype. It makes people feel comfortable.
Exactly.
And the fact that sitars do look like just a big cock and balls.
Yes, they do. And they feel like they're incredibly light, though. They look really heavy.
Oh, wow.
Like scarily light.
What wood is it made from?
The neck is teak. And the bottom of it is a gourd, which is actually like I think it's like a coconut type thing.
Oh, wow.
So it's actually a fruit. And then that's all teak. And then back in the day they had bone and stuff, but I'm sure they're just plastic.
Yeah.
Don't even have my mat here now, so. Really cool. You can get lots of different sounds. You can even do do re mi. I didn't show you earlier actually the
Ooh,
you can see it.
I
That's
can.
the pick.
Oh wow.
It's called a mizrab. And it like sits on your finger like that. It's kind of a.
Oh, I see.
And then your hand goes like ba 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 ba.
So is it just almost like a flamenco kind of flick down the?
Yeah, like that kind of that motion.
Yeah.
In theory, I'm shite like, but. Devil note. It's cool. It's just absolutely insane.
Please tell me you can play the starts of Gates of Babylon by Rainbow.
No, I wish I could. From the sea. I need the. I can do.
That's really cool.
Badly, I can play that.
No, that's good enough to be the highlight of the video, I think.
There's like 13 sympathetic strings. And then I've got 2 strings hidden here that I haven't been using. They're slightly out of tune. More depth, you've got like bass strings. But they hide because it's easier to play when you've only got like 5 strings to deal with.
So how long did it take you to get to grips with all of this?
Oh, well, when I went over to India, I got a lesson, and I'd never picked up a sitar in my life. But they're surprisingly easy once you get the basics.
Is it because is it open tuning?
Yeah, so everything revolves around a drone.
Yeah.
So there's no modal change in Indian music.
Right.
So everything just stays on this D. And every note you do fits around that.
So basically it's an Indian bagpipe.
Basically, yeah. You center around that note, and then you just find, like, primarily, I'm sure if there's any sitar players watching, they'll probably get sick and say, no, we don't just use one string. But primarily it's all on this, like, the bottom string. And then you've got these, like, they're called chikari strings, which give you that. But primarily most of the stuff you play is just on one string. So once you learn where the notes are,
yeah,
it's not so bad.
What does a minor scale sound like on that?
I'd have to move the frets.
I see.
They're all movable frets. You could probably bend. That's more of a harmonic minor scale.
Yeah.
I might have them. Close enough.
So the frets, how did the frets, I won't ask you to move them because I'm sure.
No, they're only held on with like string, if you can see.
Oh, right.
So they slide, so each like scale or rag or whatever you want to call it, you change, say, the notes that are available to you. So this sitar is tuned to rag yaman.
Right.
Which is the major scale, but with that raised fourth. So all the strings underneath vibrate with those notes. So if you play another note, you don't get the sitar ring.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. So if you wanted like a minor second, you just move the second fret back to the minor second position. And
that just sounds so complicated.
It is fairly complicated.
So that's sorry, carry on.
No, they had to get a man in. When I went to the factory, obviously I had no idea what the fuck I was meant to do with this thing. They just gave it to me. And I was like, how do I tune it? So they had to ring a man who was bathing in the Ganges at the time. And he, about a half an hour later, he arrived on and showed me how to tune it and how to play it and all that kind of stuff.
So it doesn't get any more real and true than
really
that.
Doesn't.
You don't get that from Toman.
No.
Cheers for liking the stream, Chris. Nice to have you watching. Right, so what else have you got for us, things? I know you've got several.
I've got many. Should put this away. And I have many more hiding somewhere, but... Whoa. I'll go for the little baby.
I love this thing.
It's like a mandolin.
Yeah.
So that you could probably fit it into Irish trad and get away with it.
I just want to start thumping the table.
I'll get
Hey,
a pint is stout for me and a pint is stout for you. It's it's quite a mad joke.
It's a mandolin with an erection.
A sneaky mandolin that you can hide behind your erection.
Well, depends how gifted you are.
If there's any ladies watching.
Yeah, he's not a mandolin kind of guy. He's this kind of guy.
A Baglama guy. I primarily bought it just so I could play that little bit from Spinal Tap.
Okay, that might be the highlight I use of the video, because that is just absolutely perfect.
Yeah, I need to get a mandolin, but that was primarily why I bought it.
That's good enough to warrant the spending, even if that's all you ever played for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly. I could just sit on the corner of the road here and just play that forever. Now, to be fair, it's probably not the highest quality Baglama.
It doesn't need to be.
It's probably the cheapest one in the shop, but does the job.
But I think there's, when you have certain instruments that sound like that, would you say there is a huge difference between if you bought a really good quality one and a cheap one, or because of the kind of natural sound that they have?
I know what you mean. Like that's what it's meant to sound like.
Yeah. It's like I can't.
Well, it's probably the same, but like, if you give a beginner guitar player a Squire and then you give them a fucking €10,000 PRS custom stock, they're probably not really going to know the difference.
No.
It's probably only when you get into it, and there's probably not that big of a difference to warrant the €10,000 price difference.
I've always wondered that with certain guitars. How much? I think probably with acoustic guitars maybe, because obviously more expensive woods and the natural resonances of the woods, but does there come a point where what you are paying is just a label price?
Has to be. And decorations and
especially through amplification and everything, there's only so good something can sound before you're like really just polishing and just getting that extra sort of inch out of it that nobody ever is going to notice.
No, not at all. Not at all. I primarily, when I'm buying guitars, I buy them for the feel as opposed to the sound.
Yeah.
You can fix the sound usually.
Yeah.
Now, it helps to have a decent sounding guitar, but it's primarily if it feels good.
Then it's going to change the way you play, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
I do that actually. I notice when I pick up different guitars, even I look at it and I kind of go, okay. Like I pick up my Les Paul and go, okay. I immediately think of Jimmy Page or Slash or John Sykes. I pick up the SG and it's Angus Young all day.
I found that with when I used to play on different drum kits and someone would have like a really funky snare. As soon as you sit with a funky snare, you start playing funky.
Yeah.
You just can't help it. There is that kind of... We've all got these inbuilt stereotypes of what these instruments should sound like from our heroes. So like, yep, this is what it's going to be.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Oh, what was the last one? You've got another one, haven't you? That
I do. I'm just going to turn off this. I could hear the hiss from the amplifier. I plugged out my headphones. We have also...
You've broke it.
I glued it back together. It's fine.
No one will notice.
It's the precursor to the lute.
So how far back does this sort of instrument go then?
I could be completely wrong, but I'm going to say 1,500 years plus. That could be completely way off.
None of us are going to know any different. So, is it? Wow.
Definitely older than the electric guitar.
Yeah, that's good enough.
It's a very old instrument. And it's fretless, which makes it really fun. You get all those Arabic notes. Instead of... that make you go. Like he's playing out of tune. Tune called Shipping Up to Baghdad. I don't know if that's very politically correct, but
let's hear it.
Stolen from the Dropkick Murphys.
Excellent.
You heard the tune? No.
I haven't, but I've heard of the Dropkick. I've heard of the Dropkick Murphys.
Yeah, it's Shipping Up to Boston is their tune, but I just threw in that note. Threw in the Baghdad note. I can only play one proper tune on it. It's some sort of an Egyptian folk tune. I have no idea even what it's called. Nice and simple. A bit like Irish Tread.
TL's just said, strange instrument. It is bizarre. But it's weird, isn't it? That when you get an instrument like that, it just immediately conjures up images. In your head,
straight away.
Yeah,
and it makes you think differently about what notes you're going to choose and everything.
I love it. If I had the chance to just play on just loads of silly instruments, I'd be a very happy man.
Get the accordion out.
Oh God, no, that's beyond embarrassing. Trust me.
I have another weird Turkish one somewhere, but I don't know where it is.
That's
and
fair
I have
enough.
The banjo.
You are a banjo man.
I have a banjo.
That's all we need to say.
Yeah, that's all that needs to be said about that.
So
I know about 3 Irish tunes.
What is your favourite? If you
weird instruments.
Like the desert island question.
Ooh.
So what instrument are you going to take to play to passing ships?
Probably the sitar, because it's really fun. You can have loads of different tunings, and
I suppose
if there's someone on a passing ship, they'll go, "Ooh, what's that?" and they'll probably stop.
That's true, and it's quite loud.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Because even from here, just sort of with it sort of only you sort of semi-mic'd up, it's really sharp and really cuts
very
through.
Resonant, like it's very. You can hear it. The oud is quite quiet.
I love that. That was awesome.
Right. That's great fun.
As time is cracking on, I think it would be awesome for you to play us something that really shows your skills and. I was going to Sean Connery for this bit, but your skills and talent. If you'd be so kind. Show us what you got.
That's a good question. I hate when people do that, when they say, play me something cool. I'm like...
Well, the definition of cool is, depends on your point of view. Everyone has a different idea of cool.
That is very true. Sean Connery's idea of cool is the coolest.
Yes. Okay, I want you to play something that you think Sean Connery would like.
Something Sean Connery would like.
Yeah.
If he was in an elevator, maybe.
And he's just turning to look at the woman next to him. Hello.
Hello there.
I see you sitting there. Would you like to come over for breakfast?
And then the next scene is them naked.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And that's when you get bound.
I was there all along. Anytime. Yeah.
If only we can overdub that on all the old James Bond films, that would be brilliant.
I was there for every one of them.
Yeah.
Any scene you see James Bond getting his piece, the jazz chords were there.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really terrible for that when I'm put on the spot.
What's sort of one of the things that you love playing the most? That you really sort of
that makes you smile. Like when I just pick up a guitar, I really just do that. just like any.
It's just
I like loud guitars.
yeah.
Simple stuff.
It's
I was trying to play waves. You know, all the technical stuff I end up fucking up.
it doesn't matter.
Once you miss one note there, you're gone.
If you watch back, my facial expression was this.
Just keep like the 2 seconds bit in the middle.
As Chris Gibbs said, everything played so far has been awesome so far, in his honest opinion.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much. I like honest men.
Yes. And that's
that fucker was 17 when he wrote that tune.
what?
Roughly, yeah. He's just sick.
I hate talented people annoy me.
Yes. We should shoot them all.
Yes.
He does all that slapping stuff as well. But he doesn't mess it up like I do.
That's still impressive.
All those tasty chords.
See, you strike me as one of these players who's kind of, you've got a lot of strings to your bow, but you don't tend to brag about it. Would I be correct in assuming that?
Well, I don't like to brag about anything. You can always be better.
You do own ducks. That's something to brag about.
I do own 3 ducks. That's something definitely to brag about.
Yeah.
And I only have them like 3 days, and one of them escaped.
Really?
But I got him back. I got her back. Yeah, that's why she's called Houdini.
A duck making its bid for freedom.
Yeah. And they're fast fuckers.
Oh god, yeah.
Like the duck music.
I've just got to imagine you just like chasing from behind like that and duck like oh, excellent. What are their names, by the way? What have you named your ducks? So Houdini?
Houdini, the escapist.
Mm-hmm.
Pikachu, because one of them is still yellow. She's going to be white, but she's yellow. And Goog.
Goog.
That's how, Goog. Like G, you could say G-U-G or G-O-O-G.
Interesting.
Goog, which is like the country way to say an egg.
A goog.
Yeah, goog. Like my grandmother would say, would you like a goog and toast?
A goog and toast.
Instead of egg and toast.
I like
It's
that.
a goog. Will you have a goog? Will you have a goog? You'll have to use that now from now on.
I am going
Next
to.
time you meet an Irish person.
Would you like a
A
goog?
goog.
Fancy a goog?
I love the way you do the American Irish accent there. Do you fancy a goog
Oh,
there? Hi.
are you right there, are you? I'm a stereotype, me.
Jesus, the leprechauns are around here. It's lovely.
It depends how much. If I've been watching a lot of Father Ted, then it's different.
Ah, yes. The best show ever made.
Ah, it's a legend in its own right.
Do you know they had to go to Channel 4 because RTE, which is like the Irish equivalent of the BBC, wouldn't run it.
Really? Oh my god.
So they had to go. It was too, like, it took the piss out of the Catholic Church.
Oh, right.
And you would not do that here, like.
Oh, T.L. James
No,
said,
you do it, but-
I was looking up Big Generator. You all sound great. Why haven't I heard this before? Simply great.
Thank you very much, sir.
I think there's going to be quite a bit of Googling, I think, from here.
All the Googles.
Is there footage of you playing with Big Generator as well? Or
There is probably not a lot, but there is. We did a cover of My Sacrifice by Creed there at one stage.
Oh, really?
Should be up there.
Okay, your choice. Because I said time is cracking on, so we're going to have to wrap this up soon. But Alter Bridge or Creed?
Alter Bridge.
Good choice. Well done. There's less of this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He's like a poor man's Eddie Vedder.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
One day when I'm an old one day when I'm older, I'd love to be like you.
Alter Bridge are amazing.
Oh, Miles Kennedy, what a singer.
And what a guitar player.
Yeah. It's just
He's
not only the voice
brilliant.
of an angel, but it's got skills as well.
Have you ever heard any of his older stuff? The Mayfield Four, or there was a band even before that I cannot think of the name of.
They were recommended to me.
The Mayfield Four.
Yeah. I'm going to have to look them up because I started listening to a little bit of it, but I think I really need to delve deep, so to speak, and investigate. Is it worth it?
The funk band. Yeah, I actually prefer the funky stuff he did. He had a funk band before it,
Oh, really?
where he had hair down his arse and the guitar was up like here. And it's like, it's groovy, like. I can't remember the name, but I will find them and I'll send it on to you.
Yeah, please do. I'll definitely have to look that up.
Yeah.
Right. Dear boy. This evening has gone exactly how I thought it would. Basically, me and you chatting a lot of bollocks and having a laugh. And eclectic. No, it's been brilliant. It's been lovely to see all the, especially all the different instruments as well and everything. It makes a real nice change. So.
Yeah. I'm a mad bastard, as they say in Calvin.
But all the best people are. Except the ones who stab you. Different degrees of mad.
It depends. Did you deserve to be stabbed?
And do they give you a cuddle afterwards?
See? We need to know the whole story here.
Yeah.
If you're stabbed and fed to the pigs, not great.
No. If you're stabbed, but then held in a loving embrace and told that everything will be all right, that's all right. There's worse ways to go. All right, dude. So
on that bombshell.
On that bombshell. So where can people find you? So we've put a link up to your. Oh, and Chris has just said a question. You make it look effortless, but how difficult is it to switch between instruments in what I presume are tuned in different scales? Did you learn all scales and tunings on the guitar first, or did you pick up a new instrument and have to learn it all over again? And how long does it take for you to master a new instrument? It's all right, Chris. It's a great question.
That's a very good question. So, what I would say, guitar was kind of the only thing up until I was probably 18 or 19. And I had enough of an understanding. I prefer to learn from ear as opposed to, tab or, learn the Mixolydian scale and use it here.
Yeah.
I just try and hear the notes and where they are on the fretboard. And then I try and transfer that to the new instruments. So luckily the oud is tuned-ish like a guitar.
Yeah.
It's like the same relative for a few of the strings.
Yeah.
The sitar was quite different.
Just a touch.
But like I was saying to you, it's slightly different to the electric guitar. But once you practice, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself competent on any of them. I've got my 3 minutes of being able to show people how cool they are, and that's it.
Hey, in life, 3 minutes is all you need. It depends what you do in those 3 minutes.
3 minutes, it's always enough.
Yeah.
It's always enough. The sitar, I've only been playing that maybe 6 months.
All right.
And, you do have to sit down and practice it.
Yeah. Especially with
Really
with new techniques, isn't it? And things like that,
Yeah.
especially.
All that kind of, all that fingery stuff. And I could just sit there for 20 minutes and put on the sitar. Just put on the TV or something and
Yeah. Just sounds infinitely cooler on a sitar. Just expect people to just come and start dancing around you just whenever you're sitting there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to happen someday. If I do it out in public enough.
I just imagine you just sitting there, cross-legged down London Embankment.
I've been tempted to do it here before. When I was in Bahrain, I got those big white, like the Arabic dresses.
Oh, fantastic!
I've got one of those full-length robes, and I've been tempted to just grab a rug and go down and sit. Put on a sitar.
Yeah. Please do. You would be like busker plus. You'd be like the next stage in evolution of the busker. It'd be brilliant.
Actually, there's a fella I saw him on YouTube. He busks with a sitar, but he also has a hawk. He's somewhere in England. Yeah, he just
Might have
he's
to
got
look
like
that
a
up.
hawk chilling here, and he's sitting playing the sitar. He beats me.
That's awesome.
Until I can train the ducks to dance around me in circles, he wins.
Or just wear one on your head.
Perfect. Let's
Yeah.
strap it down.
But you have to
Drop
do
my pick.
you have to do the Terry Pratchett thing where, I don't know if you're a Terry Pratchett fan, where no one's allowed to mention the duck. It's just there.
What duck?
Yeah, exactly. All right, dude. Well, thank you very, very much for joining me. It's been an
Thank
absolute
you
pleasure.
very much.
So
Very fun.
I'm gonna start googling loads of your stuff to be a bit stalkerish and actually see what you get up to.
Not much.
Nothing creepy about that.
Armed up. No, nothing creepy at all.
All right, bud. Well, thank you everyone
Good
for tuning in, and thank you for everyone who's liked the stream. And
Thanks.
so go and check this man
You're
out.
welcome.
So there's a link to your YouTube. Is there anywhere? No, link to your website. I correct myself. Is there anywhere else people
I
can
have a
find you?
YouTube page, which is probably on the website somewhere.
Cool.
I haven't updated the website in a while. YouTube, I'm on the Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Don't remember my name on the Instagram, but I'm on it somewhere.
If you type in DJ O'Sullivan, I think it comes up.
Yeah, there's not very many DJ O'Sullivans that
Nope.
I know of anywhere around the place.
And how long before there's
Yeah.
pictures of ducks?
We'll see. I'll go and see if I can get one now. There could be a duck picture tonight, but I'm not going to promise. There could be.
Don't toy with our emotions like this.
Baby ducks as well.
Oh. Okay, please put a picture up tonight. All right, mate. Well, thank you very much, and
Magic.
look forward to hearing and seeing your stuff soon.
For sure. We'll chat to you soon. Thanks,
Awesome.
Mike.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
All the best.
Good.